The number one mistake that people are making in life today is they're living life in the middle. I think the biggest vulnerability you've got is you actually value somebody's opinion more than you value your own. My ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur.
Want to soar? Get a mentor. What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. I believe in you, and this channel is designed to be a part of your daily success routine. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Gary Vaynerchuk, and his 5 secrets to turning your life around. Mentor me, Gary. Also, if you want to know what Gary and other successful entrepreneurs have to say about building unstoppable confidence, check out my 254 Confidence series, where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you a morning video for free to help you build your confidence. The link to join is in the description below.
The reason people don't put themselves in a position to fail, the reason people aren't patient, is they value other people's opinions too much.
Okay, let's kick it off with secret number 1. Don't live in the middle.
The number one mistake that people are making in life today, and it's just so unbelievably obvious, is they're living life in the middle. You know, 99.9% of the people that watch or listen to this content are living in the middle. They're hedging and making excuses and justifying why they are not 100% happy. It's because, like every other person out there besides a few select people, they are living in this middle ground. And I just say f the middle. And when I think about how you win in business, in entrepreneurship, but most of all in life, it's by understanding the macro and micro opportunities and executions. If you really understand how to break through, how to be in that zone, how to really, really, really win the game, it comes down to a strategy that looks like this. Are you balancing your ego with your humility? Are you balancing your ego with your humility? Do you equally think that you're the greatest of all time and you can do it, and that also you're a piece of shit and nobody cares when you're gone?
Secret number 2, take on responsibility.
The reason I say the thing that if there's anybody that ever looked like you that made it, then there's no excuse, is because I believe it. You know, it's really hard. You're in an argument and your friend tells you, that's great, Gary, but both my parents were alcoholics. And that really f***ed me up. Right now you're on the defense. That's a good first punch by them. I'm like, cool, we don't need to use me. If anybody has ever been successful that had 2 alcoholic parents, which, by the way, I know of 3, well then, now what's your excuse, Karen? We are just so interested in blaming everybody else and excuses because we don't want to take on responsibility. And somewhere a long time ago, I went completely, do you know I think everything is my fault? Like, all of it? Like, I think it's weirdly cloudy outside right now and not nice out. My fault. Like, his scar, my fault. Like, I just default into my fault. And everybody tries to do everything else the other way. And let me tell you how good life becomes when you take on responsibility. It gets real good. Some of you, and there's a lot of you that follow me, you know why I keep bringing up the last scene of 8 Mile, the Eminem movie? How many people have seen that movie? Great. The last scene, they go into the battle. He makes fun of himself the whole time because it leaves the other person with nothing. The leverage is in being accountable of everything. The leverage is exposing your weaknesses. I proudly talk about passing on Uber twice, being a DNF student. You know, I proudly talk about my shortcomings, right? I can't wait for more bad things to happen. I mean it, because I will talk about them because what, you're so perfect? Fuck you.
Secret number 3, ignore the noise.
I think the biggest vulnerability you've got is you actually value somebody's opinion more than you value your own. Like, the reason I've been able to always do my thing is when I was 24 and people were like, oh, you work at your dad's liquor store? Like, I heard that as like a chip on my shoulder, you know? I loved it. I was like, cool, keep sleeping on me, d-. You know? Like, I'm glad you're on Wall Street making 100,000 buying BMWs and dumb jewelry. I'll see you in 30 years. You understand? Like, to me, the way you win is you realize you can't hear nobody, not your parents. I mean, listen, you gotta listen to coach and all that shit, I get it, but at the end of the day, my guy, yourself, you gotta get real quiet up here. I can't hear anything. You go look at my Instagram right now, my first post, I'll post something, first 100 replies in 1 second, you're Jesus, you walk on water, you're the best, you're the all-time, can't hear them. The next 100, you're a piece of shit, you're full of shit, you're a snake oil salesman, can't hear them. I'm in my own mind, doing my own thing, and that comes with self-esteem. Everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not worried about you being in the Hamptons on a blow-up Swan. I'm not worried about you renting out cash from the bank and putting it to your ear. I'm not worried you jumped a fence and took a photo in front of a private plane. What do you think these people are doing? They're posing. Patience, long game. You know what's amazing about being an entrepreneur? We get to play forever, right? I'm gonna be working when I'm 96, trying to find my next hustle.
Secret number 4, stick to your DNA.
The ability to adjust is the entire game. Like, I'm so proud that I change my mind every day. My dad used to get so pissed when I was building Wine Library. He would always be like, he would say like, 3 months ago you said Ricky was gonna be the best employee. I'm like, I changed my mind. Fire him. Or he's like, you said sparkling wine was important, now you just eliminated it from the key spot. I'm like, I changed my mind. Like, my ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur. Like, I would never take a fucking note. Like, that scares the piss out of me what these 3 people are doing right now, right? And so, now, that may work for them, and I'm not, like, back to the opening statement, like, you need to do you. Like, plenty of people that make a fuckload more money than me and have won bigger take notes. The key is way too many people are doing, like, here's a good one. You know what really pissed me the fuck off? What really pissed me off in tech world was when Steve Jobs' book came out, when he was dying, when it was all about Steve 3 or 4 years ago. I literally watched a lot of my tech startup friends start being like a dick to their staff. Because Jobs was tough, everybody fell into the romance of like, I have this big vision and I'm gonna be a dick like Steve, right? And I thought that was really interesting for me to watch that half decade of like literally watching people I know and then watching them act differently because the status or the icon of the moment, and you see a lot of that. And so like that is probably the energy I'm trying to bring to this class today, which is you can look at like how people roll and like it's great to admire and things of that nature, but it's so damn important to stick to like your DNA, right? And like what you're good at. And to recognize that you need to surround yourself, whether it's your co-founder or whether it's the people that work for you. Like all I do is hire the people that are the opposite of me, that bring the other value, that bring me the ability to remember what the that meeting was about and go make sure it happens. You know, like whatever it may be, right? And so I think that's another thing that I would highly recognize.
And secret number 5, the last one before a very special bonus secret, is believe.
Sometimes a lot of people may try a new initiative and then they don't get an immediate reaction and they think it's a failure.
That's right.
I want to go back to your YouTube videos with the wine library. You know, you had so much content out there. How did you stick in there? How did you keep yourself motivated?
Because I believe in my strategies and I'm patient as shit. Like all great stuff, especially when you're innovating, doesn't happen right away. This notion that like, oh Gary, I tried it, I spent $500 on Facebook ads, it doesn't work. Well, what if your video sucked? What if your product and service sucks? I tend to do things that are very early. That has been my career. When I do things, I believe in them. I stick with them based on intuition. Even though for 18 months nobody watched my wine videos at all, I knew it was right, I was right. There's been things I've done that I've jumped off of very quickly. I started a Gary V app, VChat, V-E-E, like WeChat, I thought it was funny, for my fans. Great CRM one-on-one. Didn't feel right after a week or two, spent plenty of money building it, stopped it after, a couple months. Wine Library TV, 5 years, every day, YouTube. Decided to change it to Daily Grape, insular app. You could buy stuff, subscription for reviews. It was a lot of fun. Only did it for 5 months, stopped it because it didn't feel right anymore.
Okay.
It's always hard to know when to jump off something new, but I find that people don't believe in what they're doing. They hear a guru and they do it, begrudgingly because their boss wants them to, or they're like, well, Gary's right a lot, so let me do it, but they don't believe it. And so then they're looking for no's instead of yeses. Everything I do, every business development, every event I do, every time I try a new marketing tactic or sales tactic, I'm looking for the yes.
Right.
I'm looking for the yes, and if the no punches me, well then I'm like, crap, the no punched me. I believe the majority of people when they try new tactics are looking for the no, and you're gonna getting a lot of subtle no's immediately.
Right.
And so I think that's why that happens.
Now I've got a special bonus clip with Gary on how to take life by its throat that I think you're gonna really enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing question. It's time to move from just watching another video to actually taking action in your life or business. And if you're feeling bold, leave your answers in the comments below. Here we go. Question number 1, what noise do you need to ignore today? Number 2, how will you make that a consistent habit? And number 3, what will you do the next time someone hates on your ideas?
Just enough. Like living by somebody else's rules is a humongous mistake. I've just literally sat down with 5 people under the age of 27 and it's so refreshing. It is so refreshing. If you have not jumped on the bandwagon of doing exactly what the you want to do, which is skiing for the next 3 years or working at a job that's not what your parents want or what society wants, this video is just called enough. Enough. Make this little 1-2 minute video, depends on when I finish, the piece of content that gets you to stand up and take life by its throat. Do something. Stop being scared. Stop letting the way you were raised, the fear as an offense, take that away. Let me be the person. I'll take the blame. I loved that some of my employees are like, my parents don't love what you're saying. Good, parents, because if you are playing defense and if you are living a life where your kids' lives are the way you're being fulfilled, you're a loser, parents. And so enough parents imposing their way. You want your kids to be happy on your terms. Enough the kid that's sitting right now at a desk and saw this in a feed and you hate your job, enough. Stand up, get the out of here and do you. Live your life. You got one life. Do something about it.
Raise your standard.
Apple at the core, its core value is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better.
Not one drop of my self-worth depends on your acceptance of me.
If you want to know the 6 skills that you need to master, check out the video there right next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If you want to have freedom in your life, the way to get to freedom is through discipline.
I'm going to give you Mark Cuban rule number 1.